Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to show you how to create these beautiful 3D butterflies using your Cricut machine. They would be perfect to use as wall decor, embellishments for projects, or even as party decor and so much more. Let's go through the supplies you will need to recreate this project. You will need glossy photo paper, inkjet transparency film sheets, a brayer tool, scraper tool, a hot glue gun, and an inkjet printer. I'm using my favorite, the Epson Ecotank 4800. Start by opening a new design on Canva and go to the Elements tab. In the search bar, type Butterfly and select the graphics option. Browse through the available options and choose the images that you like best or that match your theme. In my case, I plan to select all of the colorful ones that I like. One important thing to ensure is that the images you choose are symmetrical. Add each image on a separate page. Don't worry about sizing yet, just ensure that there's only one butterfly per page. This will make it easier to upload into Cricut Design Space later on. Another option is to use butterfly images available in Cricut Design Space, but I just prefer exploring different design options. I was able to find all of these cute butterfly images. Now it's time to save them. Click on the download option in Canva, ensure the transparent background is turned on, and choose to save them as PNG files. Next, go to Cricut Design Space and upload each of your butterfly images. When you drag and drop your image, select to download as a flat graphic, as we will be using these for a Print Then Cut project. Repeat this process for all of the images until they are all on your canvas. Here's a quick tip from my experience. When I first made these butterflies, I found that removing the antennas made a big difference. The antennas are quite thin and often do not cut properly, so for a smoother cutting process, it's best to remove them. To do this, go to the shape section and add a crescent shape. Rotate the shape to about a 90-degree angle and adjust it until it fits over the butterfly's head. Then select both the crescent shape and the butterfly image and click Slice located on the bottom right. You can now delete all of the slice results. We have separated the head from the antennas, but there's still a small section left. To remove it completely, take a square shape and place it over the area, then slice it again. The image is now seamless without any antennas. Be sure to repeat this process for the rest of your butterflies if you decide to do the same. It may take a few extra minutes, but trust me, it will make a big difference during the cutting process. Next, we need to determine the sizes for your images, which will depend on your project. For example, I plan to use these as wall decor, so I want them to be large. However, if you're creating cupcake toppers with them or any other small scale projects, you can adjust the image sizes to fit the available space on each sheet. Today, I will demonstrate how to set up for both large and small butterflies. First, I like to start by adding a square to serve as a template. Next, I adjust the size to match the dimensions of the printable paper I will be using. This helps maximize the number of images I can fit within the limits of the material. Since all my material is letter sized, I changed the dimensions of the shape to 8.5 inches wide by 11 inches high. Then I adjusted the size of the butterflies to 3 inches wide and placed them over the template to see how many I could fit in one sheet. When creating larger butterflies, if you enlarge your image, Cricut will display an alert message indicating the maximum dimensions for that particular image. Simply click on the auto resize image option and it will automatically adjust the size for you. I repeated this process with the remaining images. Finally, delete the template shapes, select the group of small butterflies, and click Flatten to combine this highlighted group into a single layer. If indicated, auto resize this group as well. Now click on Make to proceed. Here you can check if the material size matches what you will be using. You'll notice that all the large butterflies are separated onto different mats, while the small butterflies that were flattened are still together. Let's begin with the printing process. I have the media type set to photo glossy paper and the quality to best. First, I'm loading the glossy photo paper into the printer to print all of the butterflies. Look at how bright these images turned out. Once you have printed all of the images, you will stay on the same cutting/printing page. You will then print the same mats again, but this time load your printer with the inkjet transparency film sheets. Be careful to place the sheets into your printer correctly with the printable side facing up as indicated on the package. Feed it into your printer just as you picked it up from the stack. Use the same printer settings we used earlier for the glossy photo paper when printing these transparency sheets. After printing, I paired all of the sheets together to ensure that they were all printed before moving on to the next cutting portion. You can now load your sheets onto standard grip cutting mats and use a Brayer tool to ensure that the sheets are adhered flat to the mats. I decided to start with all of the glossy photo paper prints first to keep things organized. I'm using my Cricut Maker 4 with the fine point blade, but any Cricut model that supports the Print Then Cut feature will work. For the material settings, I searched for photo and selected the photo paper option as my base material. I kept the pressure at default and turned on the Remember Material Settings option to speed up the process so you won't have to adjust the settings between each cut. Insert the mat into your machine and press the start button. Your Cricut will measure your mat and begin scanning the registration marks around your image. It has a sensor that reads the registration marks to cut around the images accurately. If this is your first time using the Print Then Cut feature, or if you haven't used it in a while, I recommend calibrating your Cricut first to ensure accurate cut results, or you can start with a test cut using regular printer paper to avoid wasting the actual material. To cut the images using the transparency film, I changed the material setting to acetate. Even though the material is clear, the Cricut will still accurately read the registration marks and proceed with cutting. Carefully unload all of the butterflies from the mat. Here's what they look like after being cut. You can see that they were all nicely cut around the entire image. Next, gather the transparency film layers and fold them in half. Use a scraper tool to mark the center. This simple step is crucial as it creates a 3D effect. I repeated this process for both the large and small butterflies. After folding all of them, locate the base layers, which are the butterflies printed on the glossy photo paper. The final step is to glue the top layer onto the base layer using hot glue. Press it down the middle to ensure it adheres properly and allow it to dry completely. I absolutely love how vibrant they turned out. The top layer adds a realistic touch that really makes these butterflies pop. It even gives them a bit of movement, which I find really fun. Here's how they all look displayed on a wall. I'm planning on adding some large paper flowers to complete the wall. Let me know if you're interested in a part 2 where I can share a paper flower tutorial. As always, please leave your questions in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. I will also include a list of the supplies used in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time with a new DIY.